obtained my bachelor degree in physics research at University of Novi Sad and was ranked first among the graduates. After, I started my master's studies also at Department of Physics in the module of physics materials or experimental physics of condensed matter. During the 2 years of my master's studies, I have worked as a research assistant for the Laboratory for New Materials, with my work mainly focused on researching structural properties of chalcogenid glasses and nanomaterials using Raman spectroscopy. I have obtained my master's degree in the end of 2011 with highest honors. In the next year, I continued working for the department and on my research. My work there was mainly entitled of using different spectroscopic techniques for characterization of materials, which were synthesized in our laboratory, but also the main focus of my research stayed on Raman spectroscopy. So, during my stay there, I gained practical experience in measuring and interrupting Raman spectra, absorption and reflectance spectra, X-ray diffractograms, TG and DTG spectra, and theoretical experience on other characterization techniques. Besides, I have also worked as a teaching assistant on different physics courses taught on the last year of bachelor studies and first year of master's. Well, some would say that science is in my blood, since my whole family is scientific. My mother and older sister are also physicists, while my father is an engineer. So, from my early years, I learned the value of research and of finding how things work out, and later I wanted to make contribution to the world and to make life easier for people. So that is the main reason why I decided to become a researcher myself. Also, I found that I enjoy working and discovering new things. So in the end, it was a wonderful combination of work and pleasure. First, I expect that we will accomplish all our goals, and especially the ones focused on obtaining more fundamental knowledge about Kestcells and their properties. I hope that under this project we will develop new techniques for synthesis and characterization of Kestcells, which would make producing solar cells less expensive and easier, and in the same time enable obtaining very reliable products with high efficiency. Also, I expect that working on this project will broaden my knowledge in the research of materials, especially in Raman spectroscopy, and enable me to develop new skills, which I could apply later in my scientific career. Since the main object of Kestcells is deeper understanding of the fundamental properties of Kestcells and the role of secondary phases in characteristic performance of the solar cells, I would say that for me the most interesting aspects are to find the methods which will enable achievements of these goals. For example, now we know that Raman spectroscopy is one of the best methods for identifying secondary phases, since all other methods haven't given enough satisfying results. So, developing new experimental methods and improving the old ones for characterization of the structure of Kestcells and for identification of secondary phases is the most fascinating aspect of the project for me, since in one way I can apply my previous knowledge in this subject, but in another I can also use my imagination and suggest new things and ideas. My main goal now is to finish my PhD as soon as possible and to become an expert in line scattering techniques, especially in Raman spectroscopy methods. Also, besides my experimental skills, I would like to improve my computational skills, especially in the field of theoretical simulations for the study of structural, vibrational, and electronic properties of materials. I also think that it is very important for every researcher that besides working on his or her scientific skills, he or she should also develop management skills. So I would like to work on that part of my career. In the end, I think that after my PhD I would like to stay in the field of PV technologies and characterization of materials, especially solar cells, and I would like to start a postdoc and participate in different projects concerning these topics. I think that the position of women in science today has changed a lot in the reference to the last years. I personally never had any problems in this regard, but I am aware that there are prejudices against women researchers, especially in the undeveloped countries. I hope that in future the situation will continue to improve and that it will come time when there will be equal relation of women and men in science. But until then, I must say that working in almost all male groups has a lot of benefits, mainly in them always acting as a gentleman. Although I never had any problems with being a woman in science, I must say that sometimes it is difficult to balance professional and private life. But in the end, it all comes to the compromise with the other person, and everything is well.